confrontation with a club out of the courtroom as much as possible. No cut, no motorcycle, which was why I'd driven my truck to every appearance so far. No support from my club brothers. Nothing that could give my grandmother ammunition to use against me. It worked. Although my grandmother tried to claim I was a criminal at one point, the Lost Kings MC was never brought up during the case. Not that it did me much good. Maybe I should have acted like the criminal she accused me of being and put a bullet in her head. I finally tapped out an answer to Blake. Me. I think so.
Murphy?
Hope asked. My mouth quirked up. Who else? She chuckled. The court officer motioned us out of the room, so I walked Hope out to her car. After tossing her stuff in the back seat, she gently touched my arm. Are you sure you don't want to? I'll be fine, Hope. Thank you for everything. After she left, I tapped out a quick text to Rock to let him know Hope was on her way home. Unsure of what to do with myself next, I stared down the sidewalk. I could head back to the apartment I rented not too far from my grandmother's to show the court I had an acceptable home for Heidi. I wasn't ready to do that, and I didn't feel like being alone. I should have gone up to the clubhouse, but I didn't want the company of my brothers either. Walking around the town I spent my youth in felt odd. Even weirder because I wasn't wearing my Lost Kings MC cut. Any of the restaurants close to the courthouse would be filled with lawyers, judges, or whatever, so I avoided them. A few blocks down, Oscar's place was more my scene. Although the sign said diner, dive bar was more fitting, complete with bad lighting and even worse live music. I didn't bother driving, figuring the walk would clear my head. The heavy wooden door was sticky to the touch as I pushed it open. It took a few seconds for my eyes to adjust to the darkness, and I surveyed the place for any familiar faces. Not that I wanted to see anyone. I planned to sit in the corner booth and be left alone for the night. I never expected to find Charlotte sitting at the bar. Lawyers usually hung at the other end of the road, down at Partner's Pub, where they kissed each other's asses all evening long. What the hell was she doing? Oscar's wasn't the sort of place a woman as sexy as Charlotte should be hanging out by herself. Already a number of men in the room were eyeing her. It was only a matter of time before one made a move, and I'd be damned if I'd allow anyone to hassle her. At least if I were with her, no one would be stupid enough to approach her. I swear at least some of my intentions were noble. I wasn't thinking about how much I wanted to take her in the bathroom, shove her up against the sink, pull her skirt up over her hips, and fuck her. Not too much, anyway. I walked up behind her, watching as she tried to get Oscar's attention. She seemed relaxed, if not a bit weary. "Hello, Miss Clark," I said. She jumped and turned her head a fraction. She stared at me for a minute, a little frown forming on her forehead. Her bottom lip trembled slightly, the first sign of vulnerability I'd ever seen her display.
Did you follow me?
The fuck kind of question was that? Yeah, I tried to ask her out a few times, and she turned me down in a cool but professional way that I actually respected. But I wasn't hurting for pussy. I certainly didn't need to stalk women. If anything, they stalked me. No, I'm hungry. I gestured to the empty bar stool beside her. You waiting for someone?
No, but...
I leaned in closer. You're not representing my sister anymore, I reminded her, blocking her favorite excuse for dodging me.
Yes, but technically...
It's not a date if we just ran into each other, I said as I took the seat. She gives me an exasperated snort.
Fine.
Cute that she thought I'd take no for an answer.
Charlotte. Custody disputes were dangerous business. All legal practice involved some level of risk, but especially custody issues. Nothing soured you on marriage more than working with families who are falling apart. Love turning to hate was a nasty, ugly business. During our court case, Marcel put on a good front as the caring, stable older brother. I knew his type, though. A player. Maybe something even more sinister. I didn't dig into it because that wasn't my job. No doubt because he also turned me on almost as much as he scared me. Marcel finding me at the bar, the last place anyone should have been able to find me, rattled me right down to my heels.